The Business Courier has become known for celebrating youth in our community with its annual 40 Under 40 honorees. But Forever Young is only a song, alas. And the 40 Under 40 class of 1997 is all grown up, so where are they now? 40 Under 40 was only 3 years old in 1997 when the Courier picked 40 up-and-coming business leaders making a difference in the community from 150 nominations. As is today, the emphasis was on leadership and leadership potential in business, finance, politics, nonprofits, education, or public service. Among them, we count 3 company presidents, 6 sitting CEOs, 3 business owners, 5 law partners, and 2 doctors. Pretty good. Well, 2 of them are with us this morning. Julie Isfording was with Huntington Banks 20 years ago. Today, she is a speaker, author, and health consultant. Tom Gableman was a young attorney in 1997, and today he is partner at Frost Brown Todd. Julie and Tom joined Business Courier editor Rob Dawmeyer in the studio to fill us in on the last 20 years.
Peg, thank you. And yes, we're going to go through the entire last 20 years to see how quickly we can do it. Thank you guys for being here. This is, for the Courier, this is one of our best events. It's just so exciting every year. We get more and more applications every year. And what's best for me is when, especially looking back at this kind of project where we're looking back 20 years ago, how many people have stayed in Cincinnati and made their career here. So that's what I wanted to ask both of you. We'll start with you, Julie, is looking back 20 years ago, has your career, has your life kind of ended up where you may have thought it would have been 20 years ago? Or is
Absolutely
it
not. It's not anything like I had planned it, and I think that's good because we have this vision of where we think we're going to be and then life takes its turns and detours and all that, and it's been wonderful. And it's funny how you say we've now grown up. I feel like you never really do grow up, and once you grow up, you grow old. So I don't really feel like I've grown up. And a lot of the things that have happened over the past 20 years that you can never expect, hardships, challenges, great things, and it's almost like a roller coaster, but isn't that what you want life to be? Especially your career, because for every failure, you know, you've learned something from it. And, you know, we thought we were so smart back then, and I realized I wasn't very smart, and I'm still not smart.
Oh, you're plenty smart.
But what it does take is a lot of grit and resilience, and it's all in the asking. I think that the older I get, the more I ask for help and the more I depend on other visionary leaders in Cincinnati, like what I referred to in the Courier itself, the Barretts, John Barrett, the visionary that he is, and looking to him to learn more, and Dr. Barrett, who I work for as well, who's made so many strides for our community in cancer. So there you have, people are constantly giving back is really the secret sauce.
And Tom, you're obviously, as an attorney, your career path is not going to have as many variables, maybe, but you've really had a kind of an action-packed last 20 years, haven't you?
You know, first of all, as a young attorney, I was only 25 at the time that I was selected. No, just kidding. I wish that were true.
Right out of law school.
I wish that were true. No, and I think one of the things to think about when you are a young attorney, you don't know what you don't know. But definitely what's happened over the last 20 years, what we've seen in Cincinnati, is an absolute renaissance of our city. When we think about it, you know, we embrace our past, our storied past that Cincinnati has, and yet we have this resurgent presence, you know, today, currently, what's happening in Cincinnati. And it really couldn't happen at a better time. I mean, you think about, I've got 3 millennials, you probably do too, I don't know how many you have, Julie, but the millennial generation back then in 1997, they were 10.
Right.
We never heard of walk, transit, bike scores, and yet that is what determines where companies come to cities today.
That's true. Very true.
Because that's millennials are driving really our future. And what this city chose to do, our city, our county, our region, our business and community leaders chose to do is to reinvest in itself. To reinvest in itself in the toughest of times and look at the transformation that's occurred so that we do become a city that people want to go to.
It's a good point. It truly has paid off. Just as a newspaper covering this, It's been great to be able to see the city that I grew up in sort of change right before my eyes.
And that's why, you say we've stayed in Cincinnati. Both of us have stayed, because that has helped my career as well. It's just being in Cincinnati and being surrounded by all these great people who are doing great things. And, that's one of the other things that's so important when you're launching a career, or in the middle of a career, or coming towards the end of your career, is that, once again, we're surrounded by people who are constantly striving and making a difference, and you want to be part of it.
Sure. Last question for you, though, and Julie, you kind of answered it, but maybe you can expand on it. What would you tell yourself if you could talk to your 20-year ago self now, some of the stuff you've learned? You've sort of answered it with the ask for help more, but maybe what do you mean by ask for help more?
Well, the thing is that, we never really define what smart means, and smart isn't brain smart or book smart. Smart is surrounding yourself with all the right people and all the right time. And being smart means you have grit and passion. Being smart means that you're willing to fail. Being smart. So I think I would, if I was talking to myself then, I'd be really careful about all the elements it takes to truly be happy and passionate about where you're going. And when you're happy and passionate, work becomes play.
Yeah.
And when you can get to that point in your career, I think you truly won.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
How about you?
I would have to say, throughout your life, passion, and I've got an Irish-German heritage, and passion just is inherited, so that comes with it. But as part of that passion, I think you always have to seek to do the right thing. And in this instance, in our region, in our community, that is, seek to do the greater good. And that will be your guide. And if you stand strong in that belief to do the right thing, that's your guide, I think.
So actually, I can't end with that last question. What are you guys going to be doing 20 years from now?
Well, I hope the same thing. I'm the race director of the Western and Southern Thanksgiving Day race, and it's the favorite day of my life.
Oh, good.
Because it's all about our community. We are recognized internationally for that event, and we have 15,000 people on the starting line on a holiday celebrating health and wellness and the strength of our community and the health of our community as a whole.
That's great.
So we have healthy companies, we have healthy people, and we have one healthy community together. And together is the operative word there.
How about you, Tom? Are you going to still be an attorney, active attorney?
Well, I'd hope by that time we have the banks done, since it's taken us about 17 years at this point. But really, it's the transformation of just not the banks. It's Fountain Square, it's over the Rhine, and all 52 of our neighborhoods. And that transformation is occurring, and it would just be really nice to see our city transform that way. And I think that's the legacy that is part of what our generation is bringing really for the next generation.
Well, that's a great point. Thank you both so much for participating in this project that we're doing every year now, and congrats on your careers, and the best of luck to both of you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Rob. Appreciate it.
And back to you, Peg.